I play a character named Derek Ridley, who has recently gone through a separation with him and his family. And the story basically deals with his inability to be able to cope with what went on and being left out of his family. And there's actually a description that was in some of the notes that I went through at the beginning that talked about the story being about the frightening depths of human love. And so just to kind of give an idea of how big the stakes are. His psychology is, on the one hand really complicated, and on the other hand pretty simple, and that's that his core problem is that he feels ultimately responsible for the separation. He feels inside that he is unworthy and leavable and unloved and deserving to be left at some place. But one of the dynamics that makes him an interesting character to play is that is buried quite far down, and what he keeps on top of that as a survival mechanism is this kind of manic hope that things are still going to work out okay, and an obsessive kind of denial about that anything was his problem. He kind of pushes all that at bay, and there's a whole lot of interesting moments in the story, threshold moments, where that truth of that mirror of who he is, characters and situations kind of put it up to his face, and he has to deny that until the end, when he can't any longer. Well, definitely the story, and it's one of those parts that, for me, I mean, it's a really, extremely well-structured script, and it's shot in a kind of told in a very non-linear way. So there's flashbacks. There's the A story of how he takes his son away up into the mountains, and there's a B story of all the elements we flash back to that are about that kind of flush out what happened to the demise of the marriage and so on. And I guess one of the biggest things that attracted me was that the character is, although he has lots of broad colors in him, there is a huge arc and a dynamic of the kind of things, the depths of despair and the heights of rage and all the little things in between. But to me, the real God is in the details, and a lot of the character really subsists for me on the small little brushstrokes that happen in between those big dynamics, and that made it very appealing, because I like that kind of work. That ultimately, I think that one of the traps in playing a character like this is that he could be seen as some kind of sociopath, or a very disturbed in that way, or that it's just about possession, or it's just about jealousy, and it's not. And one of the things I like about him is that there is a complexity to the way that he is, and even the things that he does that are obviously over the line. Inside him, hopefully what we'll see, if I've done my job correctly, because that's what the script's asking, is that he can justify, because of the love that he has for his son, basically, and the lack of love he has for himself, he can justify the actions that he has. So I like that about him.